Alright, so this is what one of these kits amounts to. It's going to come, the main parts are going to come in this. So, let me switch. Use your motor mounts. Now the kit is going to come wrapped. In this bubble pack is going to be your optical end stop to be protected. You're going to have your XY mounts. You're going to have your carriage piece. You're going to have your 6 idlers. And then this is your BL touch mount. And this is your fan duct mount. You're also going to have, not in the box because it didn't really want to fit, or maybe it's not going to really fit in the box, is these two pieces, which is your mount that goes on the edge of the X bar, and basically it's going to be facing like this, looking from the front, and this is the cable chain for the Y mounts that are right here, and then this is what's going to mount the cable chain on the carriage. We could have reused the regular end stop, but I decided to do the optical for everyone, just because it's optical. It's cool. Who doesn't like optical? But inside this, so you're going to have 2 flat bars. You're going to have 6 spacers. These are what go underneath the these guys. And you also add them in front of the 2 stock ones in the front. You're going to have 2 long shoulder bolts that replace the regular threaded bolts that hold the front idlers in the tensioner. You're going to have 4 dowels, which are very, very tight. So you need to make sure to have either a little bit of sandpaper or emery cloth or Brillo. I mean, honestly, it's really easy if you just take a little bit of sandpaper in your hand, and you just want to you might want to massage these a little bit so that they fit, perfectly through the holes. Like, you want them to be nice and snug. Like, so you have 4 of these. You have 4 replacement of the precision shoulder bolts. And these are 140,000 psi versus 70,000. They're really twice as strong as the stock ones. You have 14 millimeter bolts that replace the Z mounts. So if you look, there's a bolt that comes up and goes into the Z mount. The stock ones are 12 millimeter and they barely have any engagement. They're too short for stock. So we ended up replacing those. You have 6 bolts to mount the motor. Stock uses 2. We're using 3. The 4th bolt is a pain in the butt. You could use it if you want, but not worth it. So you have 6 of these. You could try to reuse the stock ones, but I wanted the low profile button heads and new fresh threads, no any problems. You have 2 bolts to mount your belts to the carriage. I'm still experimenting with different stuff. These shoulder bolts work great, but I'm trying to find like pins that work too, but that's not your guys' problem. I bought shoulder bolts for now anyway, so like that. Then you got 2 extra slide-in hammer nuts to put 1 on the top of each, because the stock setup only mounts on the bottom. Oh, this is the top one. So this one, we have 2 holes here. I only want to use 1 because the stock setup doesn't even do on the top, and boring guys, everything they say they don't want it too constrained. So I tried it with 1, I tried it with 2. I feel like 1 might allow more flex. If anyone wants to use 2, just let me know. I don't care giving them, or maybe I'll just throw them in anyway. And then you have these brass 1mm spacers to extend the standoffs on the idler in the front. And then if you want to use the standoff that was in the rear, you don't need to, but you can. So I gave the spacers for that too, because since we're using those 1mm spacers to make it bigger. So it can convert a boron 2x to equal 1, 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, 2.4, or a Trudon to a combination of a rail core slash boron 2.4 with metal mounts and an improved belt path. Instead of being constrained by the 20mm for in between an extrusion, it has spacers added, so you have 21mm, so you can fit true pulleys instead of having double stacked bearings, and it doesn't have the extra closed loop belt there, so it's direct drive. And then it's simplified, same with 2.4s in the front here. The belt paths run exactly normal, like full height, as you can support a second hot end if you would like. You can have regular cooling or bird air cooling. These are set up with bird air, obviously. Right now I just have long bolts in mind. These are the earlier revision for the arms. The ones that I showed before, the ones that will come in with the kit. These have tool boards set up, but once again, it works without a tool board. And you repurpose a lot of stock hardware. And then when it comes to the kit, the only thing that you need separate from the kit is the rail, which is an MGN12 rail. You can use a 350 or a 445 or 450. You can use a 362 but we're finding better fitment with the 350 unless you take a 360 and either cut it down or extend one of the slots. The next revision is going to have the full-length slot, which will accept a much larger range of rails, probably anywhere from like 345 to 360, 365, and anywhere from 440 to like 460. So that's the kit. So I got a big filament mess in my hot end.